The world of stop motion animation. It has proven itself to be a wonderful tool of animation to create some amazingly memorable story or reason, or matter to how big or small, and has been able to get through many different genres. One of the most one of the more popular genres you'd find stop motion animation should be mainly used it would have to be be with like family horror. But the time I probably want animated films to get a little bit spooky. Yeah. Of course, Tim Burton is no stranger to this with films such as Corpse Bride and Frankenweenie. But then we said Alec is also a notable director in that field. Whether it be directing Tim Burton's passion project with Nightmare Before Christmas, or the subject of today's video, Coraline. When I first watched Coraline on last year, on the last day it was the last day of college before all half term and before Halloween break. My teacher decided I just put us on a spooky-ish film in Coraline. Many of my classmates really loved this film, and I liked it enough. I mean, I never thought the film was bad or anything. I did like it, but I always thought this film was overrated. So I thought I'd try watch it again this year to see if I could like it a lot more. And I feel about the same of it this year as I did last year. Don't get me wrong, Coraline is a good movie. I do like it a lot. And there are things I really do like about it. But there are certain elements that do hold this back for me. I might as well get into my biggest problem with the feature that does stop me from loving it more than everyone else. And that is everything in the real world is so boring. Right, I'm gonna say this now. I did not care for any scene that took place in the real world. They're always so slow, paced and so dull. And I really didn't care about any of the characters that Coraline's parents are especially with Coraline's mum. Where I get that trying to show her as a workaholic mum, but she seemed really unlikable. Also, most of the personalities in the real world are kind of unlikable. But there are some that are better than others. But then there are others that are really constant, especially with YB. Let's just say, I felt the same way about him in the same anyway. Coraline did. Speaking of which, she's the protagonist of the feature. I guess she's okay. Seeing as I didn't care about anyone in the real world, I did kind of relate to her because I was like her. I didn't want to escape this real world and get to the magical fantasy world. But that doesn't change the fact that I'm assuming those things she can't, and that's a bit like a selfish brat. I know it does seem like I'm going really hard on this film. But like I said before, it's not bad. In fact, it's good. And when I said I didn't like anything that takes place in the real world, everything that takes place in the other world is really creative. I really love the scenes that take place in the other world. like Coraline, I felt entranced. And by the way, with all the different ones, I understand it had to hold. However, it's noticeable that there is a mystery to the to this as well. And while I technically did see reviews and clip, it's before the film that it's kind of spoiled it for me. It started to get quite invested with that element, and I know that if I wasn't spoiled by those moments, as I would have found some of these twists. It's especially shocking, especially with the other mother. For I don't really think Clive has made a villain that's topped the other mother. For she's the master of the other world. And the one under Lord's children and inspiring on their miserable lives, and making them enter this one wonderful paradise. But what makes her interesting as a villain is that she's the master and creator of the other world. When she turns against Coraline, she makes the entire other world turn against Coraline. Which does make a Coraline intimidating and threatening villain. And the fact that she's also known as the Beldam, it's the make eggs are highly intent and completely free. Also, while I didn't care about any of the characters in the real world, I really did like some of the other world counterparts. I can understand and why I'd be in the real world. But this other world, why I'd be is quite he's not able to speak. You can tell through his facial expression and that he knows that something is wrong with this world. And that he's being forced to do this by his again and his will, which does kind of make the audience feel so horrible. And I'll admit, I did feel the same way. It's cool. And when the others took his life away, it's one of those what I didn't care about regular YB, but I definitely cared about other YB. I also think Coraline gets a lot more interesting as a character to any other world. Because as like the audience, and she's being mesmerised by all the wonders of this world. And while she's being amazed with it, she is slowly figuring out that not everything about this world is as wonderful as it seems. Also, I think it's great that they add Atten as a side, like with the voice of Keith David. And considering Olympic isn't the Princess of I can tell that 2009 was a pretty good year for Keith David, even in animation. Speaking of which, the animation in this film is just incredible. Stop motion and is that often overlooked in the medium, but this is why I should be given more credit, because as most of these effects you can't do with computer to paper, but these models are made by hand, and it is noticeable in nearly every bit of the Ellen techniques that inks are put into making these puppets and these worlds. The pink palette is actually notable. Of course, a huge height. Yes, it can look plain in the real world, but in the other world, it can be shown as the center as look of where everything happens. And also, so one thing I really like is the transition between the real world and the other world. Oh, well, I never cared about the real world scenes. I always like how the real world scenes were given more plain, the grey A monotone colours. As well, the other world looks a lot more brighter and colourful, or to make it stand out and be more enticing. Into the audience. And also, when the film wants to get scary, the animation does not hold back. There's still moments in the feature, especially in the first, where it did give me a bit of a jump because of how freaky some of these moments can be. So overall, yes, I do think Coraline is a good film. There are lots of elements I do like about it. However, most of the elements I do like about this movie come from the other world. It's where the characters are more interesting, where the story got me more invested. I'm always more immersed with the book, on top of some wonderful animation throughout. However, it's everything in the real world that holds this film back for me. I guess it's supposed to also show the contrast as between both worlds. But it made me feel just as though, if not even more though, and Coraline, I don't know. So I definitely recommend to watch this at least once to get your own opinion on it. And who knows, if you disagree and think in both scenes in the real and other world are amazing, then that's perfectly fine. I'm just expressing my opinion and that while I do like this movie, I do think it's slightly overrated. I'm sure that this is probably not my hottest take. Like, maybe one of my hotter ones. But I'm sure, or I've heard from much hotter. So all I'm saying is that Coraline is good, but not amazing. And that's why I'm giving the feature a 7 out of 10. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!